Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. My name is Jada Toussaint, and I am joined by my classmates, Ms. Hope and Ms. Alexis. For our agency policy analysis, we chose to discuss client eligibility. I already had completed my volunteer experiences at the RRSC, which is the Round Rock Area Serving Center. And during this podcast, we're going to explain the eligibility policies at our agencies, compare their similarities and differences, and discuss whether the policies are effective, efficient, and ethical. And these are the three agencies that ask the same basic question: who qualifies for help? And I feel like for me, mine is for my policy, it begins with residency, household documents, and need for available funding. You also need your social security information and dates of birth for the household members. But however, the policy specifically states that the RRASC also assists people experiencing homelessness.
And then for mine, at ACG Hospice, primarily you have to have a decline in health. They have a guideline for what that decline in health can look like. Again, along with it has to co-occur with a primary diagnosis as well. I'm just going to do a quick overview of those. The first one is rapid decline over the past 3 to 6 months. 2 is dysphagia. 3 is decline in blood pressure or hypotension. 4 is increasing ER visits, hospitalizations, or physician follow-ups. 5 would be multiple progressive pressure ulcers. 6, frequent falls or increasing problems with balance. 7 is increased lethargy. 8 is uncontrolled pain, shortness of breath, nausea, and vomiting, as well as anxiety. 9 is multiple recurrent infections. And then 10, patient appears to be giving up physically and emotionally.
Okay, so I did my volunteering at the Brazoria County Dream Center, which is a food pantry and resource center for low to moderate income individuals and families and people who are experiencing homelessness. And the eligibility there really aren't strict on the eligibility. They really help anyone who walks through the door, but they do require certain documents for specific programs.
Got it. I took a picture and uploaded what my policy looks like. I can go over it a little bit for the RRASC's client eligibility policy. That begins with residency, like I said, and the clients generally must live in one of the zip codes that are listed on this paper that the agency is offering, and they must provide proof of residency, such as a lease or utility bill. But the policy limits how frequently clients can receive certain services. Food is generally provided once per month. Produce is distributed twice per year, and financial assistance and clothing vouchers are generally available once every 6 months. Furniture vouchers are provided for emergency situations. But that's typically what goes on in my policy. There's a lot more information that I'll be going through in the slide as well.
All right, and then for mine, you do have to be in the service area, which for my location is Greater North Texas, although this hospice is a chain and they are throughout the US and like still expanding. So whatever local community that they offer services to, again, you have to have a decline in health, rapid disease progression. Um, you have to have a primary diagnosis already from your healthcare provider, along with these other qualifying factors for basically your quality of life is starting to struggle and suffer.
Nice. Alexis. Alexis, would you like to explain a little bit about your agency since we didn't really get to go over it with you? Just a little overview,
So
like section.
the eligibility requirements that they have. So everyone that comes in, it's a point system, right? So if you come in and you sign up, they're gonna ask for your ID and basic a proof of address, and then you can get your card and get your points. So you can shop the pantry, but sometimes people don't know that they have to bring those documentations, so they'll still get points anyways. They just won't get as many as they would have if they brought the documentation. And then once they bring the documentation, then they'll add more points to your monthly balance. And then besides that, we do get food from the Houston Food Bank, and through that, we do have to follow the TFAP guidelines, which is just income guidelines for each household size. They can't make more than the certain amount of money. I think for like a household of one, you can't make more than like $29,000 or somewhere around there. And then that allows them to get the USDA products from them. And then for the people who make over the income limits, they receive a blue card, which they have like a separate cabinet off to the side where they'll have the non-USD versions of those specific items, and then they're still able to get the regular items from within the pantry. And then other than the income limits, they do have to just be a Brazoria County resident, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What documents or assessments does your agency require before a client can receive services?
They technically, you don't have to bring any of them if you don't want to, because you'll still get points. It's just if you want more points to receive more food, then you do have to bring just an ID. It can be any form of ID, driver's license, birth certificate, anything like that, and then any proof of residency. That can be a bill that has your address on it, or even if you bring your driver's license and it has that current address on it, that counts. And then if you have kids in the house, you just have to bring their birth certificates as well. And then that's all the documentation, unless they do have specific programs like there's like a back to school bash and a Christmas gift program where they do ask for like your monthly pay, like a pay stub from you. But other than that, that's it.
Okay.
Or if you're homeless, then you don't have to bring the proof of your address.
Okay, and then I think for both y'all, y'all can pick who wants to go first. My other question for both y'all was, do you think any part of that process could create a barrier for your clients? Like any part of the policy could create any type of barrier, like a process of it?
I did think, again, it's definitely different volunteering than actually being somebody working in the social services or actual healthcare aspect. But I did think that even though it is very specific and concise, there's probably still ways that people probably fall through the cracks, as does people with all social services. That happens, unfortunately. Even though I do think everybody's trying their best and trying to serve people, there's probably people who might just be. Also, our healthcare system kind of works more in a reactive sense than a preventative sense. So unfortunately, being early enough on doesn't necessarily get you the care that you need to turn things around. So yeah, somebody probably might have a primary diagnosis, but they're not enough of a decline, or maybe they have some of those things going on, but they haven't figured out what the underlying condition is. So I think that is definitely a way. Like, I have no doubt people fall through the cracks even in that system, as dedicated as people are. So that's what came up for me.
Okay.
And then I think maybe the requiring the documentation might create some barriers, because say if you just your house just caught on fire and literally everything burned, you have no way to bring those documentations, and then you're not getting as many points when you really do need that, because you need to be able to get more stuff out the pantry. So that can be a barrier that it creates.
Yeah.
And then go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I was also gonna touch up on that, like saying if you lost like an important document, or like as you said, like experiencing a house that's not as stable. But I also thought for me, like the first come first serve system that a lot of people do, and I feel like an eligible client experiencing an urgent crisis could be denied assistance simply because the agency's daily funding has already been exhausted. And then I think one of the things that my company does, the 6 months limit, may help the RRASC manage its resources, but it may not be reflective for each client's individual situation. And I feel like a family could experience another serious crisis before becoming eligible again.
Yeah. And then one thing how you said that they have to require the social security cards, I was thinking that could possibly create barriers for maybe people who don't have, or like considered having illegal immigration status currently, because they most likely don't have a social security card, and if they need that to get assistance, they won't be able to.
That's true. That is very true.